Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. Residents of Devil's Elbow got a chance to meet with Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler on May 8th as she came through town to view flood damage and to talk with victims about what they need. We were there the following day to speak with the proprietors of the Elbow Inn, a famous establishment along Old Route 66. Here's Leanne Mintink with more.
Matt, the carnage and flood devastation down here in Devil's Elbow is unbelievable. But the people at the Elbow Inn are making a fast recovery due to donations and community support.
We've had people, volunteers, just come in and help us get the place gutted out so that we could save what we can. And we've had a lot of donations from our travelers, Route 66, individuals, our fellow restaurant and bar owners have been amazing. The whole community has really come together and tried to support us in our rebuild and have expressed to us that they want us to rebuild.
Tell me a little bit about the history of the Elbow Inn here.
Well, basically the Elbow Inn was built in 29, built on Route 66, which was established in 1926. The bridge that goes across the river was built in 23. It's always been flood prone. And I was here in 82. Literally in the Elbow in 82 was the worst flood that we had had at the time until this one. I stood on that bridge in 1982 and took pictures, and it was lapping onto the bottom of the bridge. This time it came over the top rail of the bridge, almost 4.5 feet high over the bridge, and it got a little over 6 foot inside the building.
This is our bar. Water came in on us. It came in really quick. It took, once it started coming into the building, took maybe 5 hours for it to rise. We're trying to get some of the most important things. We have a lot of pictures. We have a memorial wall here for our fallen brothers, riders, and we had a memorial wall. So we were trying to get important things like those pictures and the important things. And the water just rose so quickly that we had to get out. And what actually happened is our propane tank blew on us. So then we had propane spewing in the air, and we had to evacuate the area. So we were unable to save anything.
It became an immediate danger. You had to flee.
Had to flee.
This is the biggest disaster in this community ever.
Is there anything about you, Terry, that just says no more? I'm just not going to fool with it. We're not going to build back this time. Ever go through your mind?
You'd have been here the first 3 days of this mess. I'd have told you, the heck with this, but no. It's just a spirit. There's a lot of folks, there's some that won't be back. But you'd be amazed, that it's just the spirit of this place. I'm not going to say anything for anybody else, but my crew here, look at them. They're just sitting there going, then we know you're going to be here. I fell in love with this place. I moved back to Devil's Elbow because there ain't no place like this on earth, I used to say.
Flood waters in West Plains have subsided, and so the rebuilding efforts begin. Hit particularly hard were the parks and recreation facilities. With more on that, here's Dylan Lorenzen.
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with Mike Davis. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule to answer some questions. I guess first question would be, how extensive is the damage to the city parks?
Okay. Well, we have 17 parks in our system, and out of those 17, we have 12 that were damaged. The extensive damage came from Hilburn Complex, which is our youth baseball, softball fields. Also, Evans Complex, which is our adult softball fields. Galloway Park also was hit really bad. But again, out of 17 parks, we had 12 of them that were affected in some way.
Since they've been damaged, how does this affect the sports schedule?
Okay. Well, luckily, our rural schools have really stepped up and helped us with youth baseball, softball. We have Junction Hill, Richards, and Fairview Fields that they've been offered to us, and so we will still be able to have a youth baseball, softball season. And as far as a adult program, we're going to have to we won't have an adult softball program for summer this year. However, we will offer a summer volleyball and a summer basketball program so adults can still stay active. On our youth program for for youth baseball, softball, we did have to reduce our schedules to 6 games, and we will have to see if there's going to be time for a tournament or not.
All right. Now, how has your experience with the community been, and are you currently taking any volunteers?
Well, the community's been tremendous. They came out that first day. We had probably 300 to 400 people out here that volunteered to help us clean up the parks. They've worked at Don Warden out at Galloway. I know that they've also been at Evans and Hilburn, so they were a tremendous help. We have constant phone calls asking for volunteers. We will be working on probably some more cleanup days to come, but as of right now, the community has been amazing.
Awesome. Now, what's the restoration timeline looking like at this point?
Well, we're still working on that timeline. However, we would love to have the baseball fields over at Hilburn back up by the Coke tournament, which is in August. We would also love to be able to have our softball fields by the fall. But we're just, right now we're still in debris removal. We still have a lot of piles and stuff like that we're trying to get to, but a lot of fence work, stuff like that. So we're working on that timeline, and that's kind of what we plan is by fall.
All right, awesome. Now, if someone's looking for more information, where can they go?
They can either go to our Facebook page or they can go to our website, which is www.westplainsparksandrec.com. They can also call us here at the Parks office at 417-256-7304.
All right. Thanks for taking time here today to talk with us. And on that note, back to you, Matt.
A GoFundMe page has been created on behalf of a family in Tecumseh whose neighbors lost their homes during the recent flood. The fundraiser, titled Help the James Lane Survivors, was started by Autumn Shirley, who arrived on April 29th to help her mother sandbag. Waters rose so quickly that Autumn, her mother, and her husband were forced to spend 9 hours on the roof of the house, even as the rain continued to fall. 4 of the 10 homes in that community were destroyed. Money from this fundraiser will go to each of their 9 neighbors according to need. During Lebanon's last council meeting, Mayor Josh Ray asked City Administrator Chris Hurd to resign. This, according to the mayor, comes after a year of, quote, sneaky, underhanded limitation. A major point of contention in this apparent power struggle has been a proposed personnel manual which would strip the mayor of certain appointment powers and give them to the city administrator. City Administrator Hurd made no comment on the matter. The council decided to continue discussions at an upcoming meeting. According to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, 2 suspects are under arrest and almost 250 pounds of marijuana have been seized from a drug bust on Interstate 44. Task Force detectives conducted a traffic stop at 4:30 in the morning on May 8th. The marijuana was discovered in a false compartment of a 2005 Chevy Silverado. A 38-year-old Leslie man was hurt while riding horseback after being struck by a 2017 Dodge Ram pickup. Ryan Connolly was riding in the roadway when the pickup, by its namesake, rammed into the back of his horse and threw him for moderate injuries. Connolly was transported by ambulance to Missouri Baptist and Sullivan for treatment. The condition of the horse is unknown. A Nevada teenager went to Twitter recently asking the Wendy's fast food chain how many retweets to secure a year's worth of chicken nuggets. Wendy's replied, 18 million. It was an ambitious number, and even though he has yet to reach it, Twitter has confirmed that Carter Wilkerson's plea has now surpassed the record of 3.4 million set by Ellen DeGeneres during the 2014 Oscars. Wendy's has already submitted to the viral power of the internet, granting Carter his request, further proof that a man desiring chicky nugs will not be denied. That's all for now. I'm Matt Wacker. Thanks for watching the weekly recap. I'll see you next week. The weekly recap is brought to you by Price Chopper, Cooking from Scratch, the Travers Automotive Group, the UPS Store of Rolla, Beck Motors of Owensville, Bayer Dodge of West Plains, Hanging by a Thread, Mimi's Home Helpers, and Tailor Your Insurance.